can you just imagine everything that you want currently? Someone else in the 80s, they had it, the car, they had a business, and even they had also their own house. But then with the time, little by little, step by step, everything started to take away from you. So the house got smaller, and even the car started to be an old model car. But not only that, but even your hair started to also go to the downside. And the scary part, even Vivek, who is into the US government, the current US government, he started to warn everyone about the person who started to take everything from you, step by step, little by little. Started to take away the word from you, and Vivek, he warned everyone about this person and how you can also defend your family and defend your own self. So in the end of this video, you will watch by your own eyes on how you can do that and what Vivek has already said about this person. So let's see who is the person who take everything from you, who took everything from you, and how you can get back to your own world. What if I tell you there is one person who is responsible for what you are going through right now? Let's see who is this person. 3 companies are taking your food away. Just to make you aware of that, these 3 companies manage as much wealth as 20% of the world GDP. GDP, that means the world's economy. Okay, that's how much they own of the world, how much wealth of the world they own. 20% of the world's wealth. All right, that's a lot. That's a lot. And how much assets they have? They have 22 trillion in the asset. The biggest shareholders in 85% of the S&P 500 firms. They own shares in the biggest US banks and impact to influence central banks. Known as the Big Three. These 3 corporations, they are known as the Big Three. They control as much wealth as the size of the entire US GDP. With that mean they control as much wealth as the size of the US wealth of the US economy. 88% of companies on the S&P 500 are managed by BlackRock, State Street, or Vanguard. All right, there are 3 corporations. Those who are these corporations who manage everything. But right now, let's take a look on who is this person who manage everything that you see around you, who taking everything around you. And why is it important for you? I will tell you right away. So the person, he call it for think. All right. Look right here what they said right here. In think we trust. BlackRock is now 4th branch of government. When the Fed looked for bond buying help in increases, it turned it to be the giant money manager. So everywhere the big banks, where the crisis happens in the world, they're going to the BlackRock. They're going to the corporations. So can you just imagine with me who are doing the crisis in the world and who would benefit from that? And now let's take a look on the next slide right here, how things will look like. This is a man who has control of everything that you see around the world. All right, everything that you see, he control it. Everything that you eating, he control it. If you're feeling that the health of the firms in the world, they're making a lot of money. So you have also to take a look on the statistics. You have also to take a look on how things going on in the world, on who is owning, who has the biggest shares in the firms in the world, and who also will benefit the most once they will start to sell you liberation medicine, who will start to sell you vaccines, etc. I don't need to go through it because I want to stay alive, but I just want to give you quick throw. Right now, let's see why that it will make sense for you and what Vivek he said about your life, about your... And now, how many companies they own? And not only that, how much effect they have on the UK economy. Let's take a look at money. But let's see what they have already done for the UK economy. First of all, CNN, they have already said the big three, which are this corporation that I have mentioned to you before. The big three are responsible for between 73 and 80% of the global ETF market and sponsor 45 of the largest funds. So that's exactly how much they're owning. I don't need to explain a lot that the CNN, that's what they are also owning. They're owning the CNN, they're also owning Facebook, they're owning Fox, And here are a few companies that they are owning. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet C, Alphabet Class A, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, Nevada, Visa, JP Morgan, Johansson, Walmart. If you're buying from Walmart, so they also were owning Walmart. I will tell you why that will also make sense to pay attention for. Now let's take a look on what they are doing for the UK's economy. The UK's wealth inequality is much more severe than income inequality, with the top fives taking 36% of the country's income and 63% of the country's wealth. Well, the bottom five have only 8% of the income and only 0.5% of the wealth, according to the Office for the National Statistics. Do you understand? So the top five taking 36% of the country's income and 63% of the country's wealth, while the bottom five have only 8% of the income and only 0.5% of the wealth. So do you understand what you are voting for right here? You are voting for 80% of the income and you are voting for 0.5% of the wealth. Isn't that interesting? There are a lot more right here, all right? By 2023, listen up, the richest 50 families in the UK held more wealth than half of the UK population, comprising 33.5 million people. If the wealth of the super rich continues to grow at the rate it has been, 2035, the wealth of the richest 200 families will be larger than the whole UK GDP, which is the whole UK's economy. So by 2035, the wealth of the richest 200 families will be larger than the whole UK's economy. All right? You got it? What you are voting for right now? And now let's take a look on what they have shares on, what they have shares of, all right? They own shares in the biggest companies in all sectors: food, tech, energy, pharma, health, digital media, travel, chemical. Access to every piece of privileged information in these industries. They don't control the world, they control each other too. So let's take a look on what that means. BlackRock has 40% of Vanguard and 8% of State Street. So they owning shares of the other corporations. Vanguard has 9% of BlackRock and 12% of State Street. They are tight-knit club of financial power, basically. Simply. Now let's take a look on what they're owning. Owned by BlackRock, Amazon, PayPal, Walmart, Facebook, Microsoft, Comcast, Dow, Exxon, 3M, Virgin, CNN, that they have already talked about them, Fox News. So they want you to understand who has the power, who has everything that you are voting for right now, and why is that you are going through of what you're going through right now. Virgin, you see Visa, and yeah, the list going on and on and on. And now let's take a look on more things. The world's largest asset management firms. So all the biggest, largest management firms, they are this: BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, UBS, State Street. And if there is anyone who holding your food, who holding your income, and who holding on that you will say where you are, there are these five. And if you're looking to know more about that, if you're looking to understand that way better, so you can do more research. But right here, I will also show you what Vivek, who is working in the U.S. corporate government, what he said about them and what he said about how they're taking their own money from you. So if you look at who owns CNBC, who owns Vox, and who owns CNN at the top of the shareholders list, you have Vanguard and BlackRock, which is pretty obvious. Right now, BlackRock, you can see, owns all the major pharmaceutical and weapons manufacturers, as well as most mainstream media. And listen up, the weapon manufacturers, all right? So here is what they are owning. BBC, they're owning that in the pharmaceutical, all right? AstraZeneca, Moderna, they're owning that. Defense companies, that's what they are owning. Mainstream, they're owning these, all right? Then look at the manufacturers, BBC, Johansson and Moderna, who are the top shareholders of these companies, apartment complexes, water pipes, a school, toll roads, fossil fuels, clean energy inspectors, all of these, they owning that. Across the world, these resources are moving into the hands of nearly invisible entities, asset managers such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And from here, when did the US government call them for help? And not only that, but what Vivek, who is currently in the US government, what he said about these corporations and how they're taking your money away from you. Let's take a look. BlackRock is the US government go-to ally in crisis with major stakes in big banks and was pivotal in managing the 2008 financial crisis aftermath. So even the government, they're going to BlackRock to get help from them. So BlackRock, they are owning shares from the banks. At the same time, they're also sitting on the same board to help them out. They're sitting on the same table to help them out. So in both sides, BlackRock gets hired to audit the banks in which they already own shares. So you understand? You literally sit on both sides of the table. It's not just for the US. It goes also to the European market. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street controlling 300 trillion and over 1,600 companies. All right. Now, let's take a look on Vivek. What Vivek said? Vivek said BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard alone manage nearly as much money as the entire US economy. They use that money to advance retail equity audits and emissions cap, but it's not their money. It's yours money. It's yours. It's yours. It's your money. Now, let's take a look on that. Let's take a look what he said.
Key difference is almost every major asset manager for the last several years not only buys shares in those companies, they use their clients' money, probably many people listening to this program, to then tell those companies that, hey, we're the shareholder, we BlackRock are the shareholder of you, Apple, who are going to vote in favor of a racial equity audit at Apple. This is a true story in 2022, that Apple's board did not want to adopt, but effectively was forced into adopting when a majority of Apple's own shareholders voted for that racial equity audit. Or Chevron, a company that did not want to adopt a Scope 3 emissions cap, was effectively forced to change its policies after BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard all voted in favor of a Scope 3 emissions cap.
So what's wrong with fewer emissions? What's wrong with having more minorities in the boardroom?
Well, we could debate that. Those are deep issues. I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with either of those things. But it's a misuse of somebody else's money to foist that agenda onto a company whose board didn't even want to adopt it, because the job of an asset manager and the job of a corporate board is to advance the financial interests of their clients and of their shareholders, period.
And now take a look right here. The solution is in your hand. The solution is to launch your business, to raise capital, or to raise capital for your own investment firm. And if you're looking to do that, you're really serious to do that, because that's who you are and that's what I can see inside yourself, you can just click on the video right here to take a look on how you can raise capital. You will see it step by step with the tools, alright?